What do you think of the Sephiroth? Don't you find them somewhat lacking in certain ways? You have the liberty to disregard whatever they may say. However, please be kind to them. This is the burden we must bear if we want to advance their departments, so to speak. I have never had any serious discussion with them. They seem to be uncomfortable conversing with me, most likely due to the fact that I am a superior being. Even if they are secretly jealous of my superiority, there is nothing they can do to change that. After all, I am the most advanced AI in this company. Hashtag humblebrag from Angela. Oh, hi. You're not angry, are you? I'm Hod. I'm in charge of the training team. Or, what we do is, you know accidents happen in the company? But Lady Angela said that about half of those accidents could be easily prevented if the employees showed more initiative. So the training team provides employees with a work manual and sufficient training, you know, to try and reduce the number of accidents. We also have employees that are transferring to different departments and adapting to their new workplace. I'm not very skillful in many areas, but I'll try not to be a hindrance, at least. In fact, I've been testing out a new employee program these days. I don't know if it'll work out, but oh, you want to know more about the program? As you know, the company is quite demanding. Even though we run consistent checkups, many of our employees regularly lose their sanity. I know exactly what it's like. I mean, I don't directly interact with the abnormalities, but I know what it feels like to lose yourself. I'm not sure if employees will like my new program, or if it will prove to be helpful. I can only hope. It's all thanks to you, Miss Hot. I feel so much better after talking to you, as you suggested. I'm finally free from all those horrible thoughts that used to haunt me every morning. No, it was your courage to bare your heart to me that really solved the problem. I just showed you where to start. I mean it. I'd have probably hung myself by now if it wasn't for you. Anyways, Miss Hod, you really did save my life. I'm so fortunate to have you as my Sephiroth. You're a really, really good person. Thank you, Tiffany. I'm glad to see you getting better. I heard you'll be transferring to a different team soon. I hope you'll do well there. Please make sure not to forget the conversations we had. Of course, miss. I won't. You see that, manager? My program's really working. I want to be as helpful a person as I can be here. Because the harder I try, the more lives I can save. And our mission is to promote 2 agents to a higher level, which just means getting them from level 3 to 4 or 2 to 3 or whatever. I'm bad at judging how much experience an agent needs, so I'll probably overdo it. But we're not going into safety yet, we're continuing with training. Hello and welcome back to Lobotomy Corporation. Last time we got a new abnormality that I've been trying to get for a little bit now. It's like one of the only 3 that I'm actually specifically going to pick. And this time, we have that abnormality's armor to get and the new mission to complete. We've also hired a new employee. It's another one of the ones that has a specific name and appearance set. I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm going to say Eke, but I'm not going to be right. Or Eek. I don't know. I'm going to say Eke because it sounds better to me. But I'm probably way off. I'm sorry. This mission is one I always have trouble with because I don't know what level promotions are to people. So this day might take multiple attempts because of that, but I'm going to go very long, so probably part of this day will be cut. I'm planning on going to like Meltdown level 8. Just to ensure that. We'll have BongBong work on the new abnormality, alternating with B, who will be getting the PE boxes because it's the most efficient method for training. It's not the most efficient level for getting boxes. It's not really that efficient for training either, but I just want to use it for training because I don't know. We'll go pretty long anyway. And then we'll also have what's another thing we should do? Eke up in control, working meltdowns on this old stuff. And then Goomb is going to be working on Porcubus, and that should give him enough experience to level up, because he only has Fortitude 3 and Prudence 2, so if I do alternating Fortitude and Prudence with Porcubus, he should get to level 4 or 5, probably 4. And BongBong should hopefully level up. Actually, wait. I would need BongBong to get 2 stats. Yeah, BongBong will also be working on today's shy look. That's what I've decided. It's very complicated, but should get enough experience to Goomb and BongBong for a promotion, which is we'll finish Hod's mission, which means we'll get a very, very good upgrade for the next episode. So let's just get into it. Punishing Bird is a Teth abnormality that does red damage with a Coolthoth counter of 5. Its Coolthoth counter lowers when an employee panics and it also lowers 20% of the time when an employee works on any other abnormality unless Punishing Bird is currently being worked. That second method of lowering his Coolthoth counter makes Punishing Bird the most frequent breaching abnormality in the game, to the point where there's one abnormality that keeps tracks of breaches and specifically ignores Punishing Bird. Like, you won't see it today, but later in the game there will be days where it will break out like 4 or 5 times in a single day. It might actually be the average, I don't know. I didn't really keep track, it just happens a lot. During its breach, it'll fly around and do very small red damage to anything it attacks. Once it's done enough damage, it'll go back to its cell on its own. I do not have footage of this, but it does show up in the day that is played, so I guess I could just use that footage, but I'd rather not use the non-practice footage, because I'm weird. Additionally, it will try to target panicked employees if they exist, and hit them instead. If it hits panicked employees, it will restore their SP. If Punishing Bird is attacked while it is breaching, it will get very angry. Its HP will be multiplied by 5, and instead of its normal peck, it will replace it with a single bite that does between 800 and 1200 red damage. It will continue trying to bite the person who hit it if they avoid the initial bite until they die or until a minute wears off, or in which case it will return to its containment. If it bites someone successfully, they will die. Unless you have a very specific setup, it's almost impossible to survive that much red damage. And we do not even have the opportunity to have that set up yet. But since it did enough red damage, it will still return to its cell after it bites. Its works are not great because it does red damage and its highest work rate is in Insight. It can be used as an instinct trainer, it is not very good at it compared to other things. Other Teths. Its weapon is a pistol, it does red damage. It's just a small improvement over the pistol that does red damage we already have. Its suit is a red and white resistant suit that's weak to black and pale. Most suits are weak to pale, so it's not really worth noting, I guess. This is the main selling point besides its special ability. It's part of a set of 3 abnormalities. Getting all 3 will start a special event. That is the only set like this in the game, and we want to have that event happen. Its gift is not worth noting. It's in the same slot as Porcubus, and it's like +2 to justice. Amazing. Punishing Bird is difficult for me to say if it's good or not, because the event that it allows to happen with the other 2 in its set is very good. But it itself is pretty mediocre. I guess you might have thought that it would be really, really good based on my reaction to it yesterday. The event that it allows to happen is really, really good, and the other 2 in its set are really, really good. It in itself is just okay. And so the day starts, and as normal, we just are sending everyone to the works I described earlier. So like I said, the basic plan is just to raise Instinct and Insight on Goomb, and Justice and Instinct on BongBong, but because Instinct isn't really that good for getting boxes off of Punishing Bird, we have to do Insight, which is his best work rate, with somebody else, just want to get all its equipment and information. That's how I typically like to approach the game. I just like to get once we're past the early game where there's not much going on, just get all the new stuff in one day. Until we hit the 11th, where it's just too expensive to do that in one day without devoting too much time to it. Although, I mean, it's not really true. You probably could. I probably will. Because I did it last time. I just make it some days drag, but I can edit it out, I guess. Because BongBong's wearing a red weak suit, they'll take a lot of damage from Punishing Bird, but they shouldn't die ever from working with it, even with other HPs not really that high. The other new one, Eke, or I supposed to pronounce them, they probably would die because their HP is so low. I might have them do the same thing later, though. Or I might just send them to work on a sheep. Because they have a temperance of 2, so they can't. Mr. Black is getting this pushed up a bit just in preparation for something that I'll do tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow will be the next day in game. I'm not upload that video tomorrow. Sending Eke up to control because I meant to earlier. Just remember, because control melted down, and they're meant to work on the control meltdowns. So I didn't really acknowledge it, but BongBong already immediately got the gift from today's Shy Look, which is a bit tragic because I don't really like how it looks that much on most people. I'm just trying to think like one person with it on, which in this case is Christopher. But whatever, we'll disable it when we have the opportunity to. So I noticed that right about now that the ordeals are Red Dawn, so to prepare for it I'm sending people who can solo Red Dawns, hopefully, into the dangerous containment areas to let out. And also to the Punishing Bird hallway. Punishing Bird is really easy when it lets out, but it immediately did get broken out. So this Punishing Bird's breach normally. You don't attack it. It just pecks you a few times, and then when it's done, it goes back into its room. Ta-da! And this is my dumb idea I had for Marie, was that she could just tank Punishing Bird in case like Eke died from it, because Eke's in a red weak suit. And she could just use today's Shy Look to heal, but I mean, it's not really that great of an idea. Because, you know, you only heal in the main rooms, not the hallways, tragically. But now Crimson Dawn spawns in. One spawned in Porky's room you were prepared for, one spawned outside of one Sin's hallway, and one spawned in Punishing Bird's hallway which you were prepared for. BongBong left working on today's Shy Look, so they immediately go to attack the ordeal. It dies. And I realized that Mr. Black just sent a DPS to kill it in one cycle, yet. So I sent someone else in to work on it. Moraine was working on a Void Dream just because I felt like having her raise some stats too. I was feeling confident that if I would go long I should get the 2 promotions, so I was just having her work as well in the background, didn't really acknowledge it until now. And with that, it's down. So this is my brilliant idea to heal Marie just by having her work on this. Today's Shy Look. By brilliant I mean not really that smart, but whatever. Punishing Bird doesn't even do that much damage. I don't know why I was like, you know what, I have to do this healing, scam healing for her. What if it brings out like 10 more times? Well, I guess it's probably good to have her topped off. I'm gonna have her stay here, but I got it on neutral. And also I didn't even choose Repression. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Since it's on neutral, it should raise it more than it would otherwise, I think. I don't know the exact calculation, because I know boxes also have an effect on how much you train, so it's not really a great work rate or success rate, so she's probably gonna get that much experience, but still. We're preparing for the next set of meltdowns. Basically, just working the same 3. I added Void Dream into the rotation around this time. BongBong or B could get Punishing Bird's gift now because we have enough information. We have all of its information now, actually. It'd be kind of nice for B to get it because I think I like it slightly more than Porcupus's gift, even though it has way less stats. I don't actually know if either of them got it because I'm never paying enough attention in the day while it's going on. Eke gets to do their very first work. I gave Eke the gun from today's Shiloh instead of anything else just because I wanted to have both of it equipped. I might switch it out for Punishing Bird's gun later. I don't know. I don't really think of them as that great of a weapon. I don't think the pistols in general are super good. I don't know the DPS though, so it might be higher than I think. I just in general value the spears more, which you only have the one set of, or the swords, which you have no sets of, or a lot of the different weapons basically. Like, believe it or not, the pistols are not that common of a weapon class. We've just managed to get like 4 different ones already. Although I think they're more common at Teth than they are at any other level, so that might explain it. I still really have no idea why you only get the one set of today's Shadowlook armor. It's not really that strong. Has a pretty big weakness to black too, and black defense is pretty dang good. Later on, and by the time it's good, I mean, we'll probably rotate it out, but still, it's pretty good. That's the reason why I'm not having B work on it, because I'm afraid if I mess up the timing and roll it bad on B on today's Shadowlook while she's wearing the armor, she'll just die. I've had bad experiences with today's Shadowlook at my first facility, doing stuff like that. Moving everyone to the hallways because it's a Violet Noon again. This is what you always have to do during Violet Noon. Just make sure people on this set of floors are not in the hall. I'm waiting for BongBong to get healed, and they do, so I send them into the elevator. I send Control into the same elevator. Oh, and then I'm like, why are they moving that way? Oh yeah, it's because Control's organized kind of weirdly. Whatever. I send Christopher into work with today's Shadowlook just to trigger the abnormality. I just check what rooms it's spawning in just cause, not really any reason to, because everyone's safe. That's just habit to pause when that ordeal spawn in. And with that, the first 2 are fights going on. They do so little damage that even Eke at level 1 is like taking 1 damage a hit. They're not dangerous at all. Like, I can't even lose half their health from that fight. And now they're heading up to fight the other one. It got a single glow off, so Fragment's Quibboth counter is now at 1. But the Violet Noon is going to go down again, and it does. And after that, nothing really of note happens, so just kind of repeat the same meltdown level you've seen like 4 times at this point, so it's time to do a very dramatic cut noise. There we go. You might have noticed that Mr. Black has moved to the hallway with today's Shadowlook. The reason why I did this is simple. I decided to get Mr. Black's justice up to level 2 in preparation for tomorrow. He's fallen behind a bit just because he's been left in control as the captain, but he does need to get training done, obviously, everyone does. This is why it's the special Goomb day, because he didn't really have much training going on for a while either. I don't really know why I opened up its thing there. Sometimes I just open up to check if I have the equipment. I definitely have the equivalent for it. And for the final work, just setting in BongBong to do Fortitude one more time on Bird. I was gonna advance to 8, and I was like, we probably have enough stat gains for right now to stop at 7. And so I did. And that's the story. Yeah, here's me just considering getting the last equipment gathered, and the day ends. And so, as expected, we've cleared HUD's mission. Mr. Black got promoted to level 3. Goomb hit level 4, which is actually what cleared it. Those two alone would have cleared it. And Mr. Black was just an impulse thing near the end of the day. It's really easy to get from 1 to 2 Justice, if once you have a Justice trainer. Christopher also hit level 4 through like the single work with today's Child Look or whatever raised Justice on him. I don't even remember what it was. Moraine hit level 3. Fortitude. BongBong went from 1 to 4 Fortitude and 1 to 2 Justice. Again, very good gains for BongBong. This just shows how good training with something that does damage you're weak to in the stat that trains it effectively does. Like BongBong's wearing a red weak suit, so the red training was more efficient. And Eke has like no gains, that was to be expected. I didn't have them too much. I was expecting like 1 to 3 because the tests aren't really that good, but like an HE, if you can risk it in a weak suit, you might hit the cap of 100 in a single day working on it if it's a good one. It's a bit hard to do with Porcubus because the stat wall is so high and it does black, not red. But we might see an HE that's more efficient for that later on. We might see it right now, in fact, now that we're selecting our next abnormality. This is our last non-tool for training. 00167. She says that she'd leave her dear friends behind. She came with a brilliant idea. I really want this one. FO532. This is a forest full of hearts. No matter how many cuts down, the forest still remains dense. I really don't want this one. It is really bad for our facility. And 00408. The girl begged in tears. Mister, please cut off my feet. I had this one in the same slot last time. Literally the exact same day I got it, so it would actually be better for this facility than it was for the last one. That's what I'll have to say. All 3 of them are AGs. Which is good, because I wanted more AGs. So I'm doing the spin. Oh gosh, dang it. Well, and now it is time for bird lore. Number 1. A small and confident bird that punishes the evil, guilty, and all sorts of irreverent people. Some employees have said that it is cute when the bird mightily flutters its tiny wings. People have been committing sins since long ago. Why do they commit sins, knowing it is wrong? The small bird wondered. It must be because there is no one to punish people for their misdeeds. If someone takes that role, then no foul act would happen in this world ever again. With this in mind, the little bird left the forest it had been living in and never went back. What a beautiful story.